TV's media presents the Vikings.
The year is 793 AD. It is one of the darkest days in the history of England. A group of Northmen, also known as Vikings, have just attacked the Lindisfarne Monastery, one of the holiest places in England at the time. They went on a rampage, killing everyone in sight and stealing everything they could carry. But this was just the beginning. Over the next few decades, the Vikings would go on to conquer and raid all over Europe. So, why were these Vikings so successful? And what makes them the scariest warriors that ever lived? To understand how scary the Vikings really were, we need to hear more of their stories. Let's go back in time to 866 AD. King El of Northumbria has just returned from a battle with the Vikings where he managed to defeat them. He is now celebrating his victory with his men when suddenly the ground begins to shake. In the distance, they see a massive fleet of Viking longships coming straight for them. Before El and his men can even react, the Vikings attack. They had taken El's spy ship and used it to lure him out into the open. Now outnumbered and surrounded, El and his men are quickly defeated. El himself is captured and taken to Ivar the Boneless, the leader of the Vikings. Instead of killing El, Ivar decides to execute him in the most brutal way possible. He orders for El to be sewn up in a leather bag along with a few snakes and a rat. When El's brother, King Osric of Northumbria, hears what has happened, he comes to the rescue with an army. But it is too late. El is dead. This event would become known as the Blood Eagle because of the way El was executed. But it wasn't just the Vikings' fighting skills that made them so scary. It was also how and why they fought. Unlike other warriors of the time, Vikings did not fight for glory or honor. They were in it for the money. While most people in Europe were farmers or merchants, Vikings were some of the first to embrace capitalism. They would attack monasteries, villages, and even entire cities just for the loot. Between 793 and 1066 AD, Vikings launched more than 3,000 raids into England alone. Some historians estimate that by the year 1000, Vikings had looted every single monastery in England at least once. But England was just one of many targets. Vikings also raided all over Europe, from the Byzantine Empire to France, Germany, Ireland, and even North Africa. But there was one place in particular that the Vikings loved to visit, and that was the Holy Land. That's right. Even though the Vikings were known for being vicious and scary, they also had a strong sense of religion. In fact, some historians believe that the Vikings' love of plundering actually came from their religion. You see, Vikings believed that the best way to get to Valhalla was to die in battle while fighting for your lord. But if you weren't able to die in battle, the next best thing was to steal treasure while fighting for your lord. And where better place to steal treasure than the Holy Land, which was basically one giant treasure chest guarded by some very scared peasants. During the Crusades, Viking leaders like Ragnar Lothbrok and Ivar the Boneless led raids into the Holy Land, stealing treasure and killing Christians left and right. In fact, it was Ragnar Lothbrok who first discovered Jerusalem and introduced the rest of the Vikings to it. What's scary about the Vikings is that they didn't just attack when they felt like it. They were strategic and planned out their attacks well in advance. For example, before attacking a village or city, they would first send out a group of scouts to gather intelligence. They would find out where the town's defenses were weakest and plan their attack accordingly. They also knew how to take advantage of the element of surprise. Most towns and villages were built near water, which made them easy targets for the Vikings. See, the Vikings were masters of shipbuilding and navigation. They invented the compass and used it to travel all over Europe and even beyond. They also developed a new type of ship called the longship, which was faster and more maneuverable than any other ship of its time. These ships allowed the Vikings to travel great distances quickly and quietly, which made it easy for them to sneak up on their unsuspecting victims. So there you have it. The Vikings were vicious, scary warriors who had a taste for blood and a love of treasure. Their fighting skills, intelligence, and use of technology made them the perfect predators, and their raids across Europe are a testament to their brutality. But what do you think? Are the Vikings the scariest warriors that ever lived? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you for watching.